And me and Ibu Amel will guide you through to go through this session for today. Yeah, Bu Amel, would you like to introduce yourself?
Okay, hello everyone. I'm Amel from UP. Maybe some of you already contact me because I'm the contact person in poster of virtual summer school. Okay, good morning.
Yeah. Bu Amel usually stay at the back
Poster backdrop.
backstage. since this is not a real stage, so Bu Amel said that she always stay at the backdrop. No, Bu Amel. Okay. Now I will invite Bu Amel to join me to face you at the front of the screen. Yeah. Okay. Since we already have Ibu Ida Nuramdani, now I'm going to invite Ibu Amel to probably introduce Ibu Ida by reading her CV.
Okay, thank you, Bu Uci. Okay, everyone. Before we move to lecture of Dr. Ida, I will read some of her. Wait, I tried to. Okay, CV. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Today our speaker is Dr. Ida Nuramdani. She has same affiliation with Dr. Widodo and Mr. Nandan before, and she got her bachelor degree from textile chemistry and Sekolah Tinggi Teknologi Tekstil in Indonesia, and she obtained a master degree in chemistry, University of Canterbury, New Zealand, in Australia, and her doctorate in smart and advanced textile material engineering in Ghent University, Belgium. And her field of expertise in textile chemistry, dyeing technology, color technology, and smart textile. So I think Dr. Ida is have many knowledge and her specialty about dye, and we can learn from her today. And she have the certification about competency assessor from granted by ICS, International Activities, and some of her recent publication. I think it's about P.PSS. If I'm not mistaken, this is about the polymer, right, Dr. Ida? And the application about for the transparency, or I don't know exactly what about this, but she already published some of paper in the Journal of Clothing Science and Technology, and also in Textile Research Journal. And here her award. Wow, her award is from many institution. First from what is it? Research Council of Ghent University, okay, Belgium Flemish Ministry of Education for her special research award for a PhD study, and also in Bush Soft Skill Trainer Institute Award by American Chemical Society (HCS), and also from our country Satya Lancana Karya Satya 10 tahun ya by President of Republic of Indonesia, and also from New Zealand Ministry Foreign and Trade, New Zealand Development Scholarship for her master degree maybe. And I think this all of her brief CV, Bu Uci.
Okay, yeah, thank you very much, Ibu Amel, for the CV. Yeah, from the CV, we have known that Ibu Ida is really the best speaker to tell us about the natural dyes, yeah, in traditional textile. So as usual, before we invite Dr. Ida to present her presentation, We would like to present a video as an opening video for you guys here today. So yeah, hope you enjoy. All right, thank you very much, Ibu Amel, for the video. Yeah, it's a lovely video. Can give you a glance, yeah, a brief information about natural dyes in fabric. Now, to learn more deeply about the natural dyes, we already have Ibu Ida Nuramadani here as an expert in natural dyes. Ibu Ida, I will invite you to the presentation. Now the floor is yours, Ibu Ida.
Okay, thank you, Bu Uci.
Yeah, Ibu,
Okay,
thank you very much.
okay. Can anyone here listen to me, or can anyone hear me?
Perfect, doctor.
Okay. Thank you. Before I start my short lecture about natural dyes, I would like to ask Bu Uci about the background of the students here, or the
Okay,
participants here.
the
Are
participants,
they
yeah.
all having chemistry background, or it's more various backgrounds?
All right, yeah. Most of them are has background in chemistry. Yeah, but
All
different
right.
food chemistry or some agriculture probably, but also most of them from chemistry background. Yeah, Bu Amel, yeah. Mhm. Yeah.
All right.
Content all all the content of this virtual summer programs also talk about something related to chemistry.
All right. Okay.
Okay.
I will share my screen first. Okay. Um, so you can find the presentation already. Okay. Um,
It's clearable.
all right. Good morning, everyone. I think some of you are Muslim, so I would like to greet you with Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Ibu
Okay.
Ida, can I just confirm a bit that the PowerPoint is in PDF? Is that right?
Yes, it is.
All right.
Is it
Just go
is
ahead.
it okay?
Yeah, it's okay. It's fine.
Okay. Um, I will check if. Okay. Yeah. All right then. First of all, I would like to thank you, thank the Department of Chemical Education of Universitas Pendidikan Indonesia who has given this precise opportunity for me. I feel so honored to have you all here and giving me the opportunity to talk about the natural dyes. I'm giving the title for our lecture today, Natural Dyes for Textile Coloration. Later soon, I would like to tell you why. I say it is coloration, not only dyeing, and also how can we identify this one is natural or this is dyes or not, this is synthetic or natural dyes. So as most of you are having chemistry background, so I think what I would like to present is a bit, I don't want to talk too much about chemistry, but I will give you a little background about the chemistry of the dyes itself. Um, Well, I think I just discovered that last week Dr. Widodo also introduced our institution here, and I also present the same slide exactly. But well, I would like to point out that I'm also coming from the only one textile school, or now we name it Polytechnic of Textile Technology in Indonesia. This is the only one higher education institution in textile technology in Indonesia. We are owned by the Indonesian Ministry of Industry. So I would like to proudly tell you that our institution is reaching a century, so 100 years old in the near future. It is in 2022, because our institution was established since the colonialism era, under the Dutch colonialism. So in the last time, in the previous time, the pioneer of our institution was named in Dutch. It is called Textile Inrichting and Batik Proof Station Bandung, under the Dutch administration. And now we have 3 departments: textile engineering, textile chemistry, and garment production, and also with the concentration of fashion design. And also since 2018, we have a master program, the Master of Applied Science in Textile Engineering and Apparel Technology. So I'm the head of department of textile chemistry, where the chemistry of dyes, the dyeing technology, and many other process of colorations also studied in the department. As have been mentioned by the moderator, so I would not like to mention it twice, but then a little bit answer for the question from Bu Amel. My last publications are related to the project of my PhD. It is the applications of the polymers for smart textiles. So because I'm also specialized in smart textiles, but the main core of my expertise and also teaching subjects in bachelor degree is dye chemistry, dyeing technology, color technology. So we can, and a little bit organic chemistry on that relation. So we can have more discussions about it later if you like. Well, let's start to let you know about the scope of our discussion. It is, there are 6 parts, only in a brief, because the the knowledge, the content itself has been briefly and very well overviewed in the video, in the last video. Most of what I want to bring um, bring up in this discussion is also related to the videos that you have watched before earlier. Okay, first maybe I would like to tell you about the overview of the concept for textile dyes, and then how the dyes is being colored in the textile coloration process. It will involve the fiber dye interactions, and then we can also discuss more about what is natural dyes and why it should be natural. Why we try to use the natural dyes instead of synthetic dyes, and then what kind of types of natural dyes available and also still being used here now, and also later. We can also discuss a bit more about natural dyes, which can be potentially explored from the Indonesian nature, and some special examples from the application of natural dyes. Here, the first question is how we say that something or a substance is called dyes or pigments. We have in textile technology, we have 2 different terminologies between dyes and pigments. Dyes or pigments are both having capability of absorbing light at the visible light spectrum. You already know about this. Why it can absorb light in the visible light spectrum? Because it has components that allow the light being absorbed by that kind of substance. So these are simple examples of dyes that usually used in textile. It has the azo component here. It's just the same azo component, and it has also having the aromatic ring attached to the chromophore, what we call this chromophore. Azo is one of the biggest used chromophore in synthetic dyes. And because it has alternating bonds here, single and double, which we call usually resonance of the electrons. So it has capability to absorb light in the visible light spectrum. And as you can see here, even only a little bit difference from the position of the hydroxyl here. This one is para position and this one is meta position. It can exhibit different color. Here in the meta position, the color is orange, but with para position, the color should become blue color. So it is the basic concept of how an object or a substance can modify light by absorbing some parts of light and then reflecting or transmitting the other parts, the rest of the light. That's why we can have the substance having some different colors. Um, this is the requirements for any substance to become a color or a dyes or pigments. But what's the difference between dyes and pigments? We usually call something called dyes when it has a good solubility and then it can be processed for a dyeing process. It's soluble in water and then it can be processed for the dyeing, for the coloration through dyeing process. While pigments, it is also something that can give color to any surfaces, but pigment doesn't have ability to interact directly with the fiber, with the material that is colored. So when we use dyes, it should have capability to do some chemical bonding or physical interaction with the materials, while pigments only having, well, adhesion or cohesion interaction with the material on the surface. And you know that synthetic dyes and pigments were available since the mid of 19th century. Before then, all people having the coloration with natural dyes. But all of a sudden, the discovery of what we call basic dyes from morphine, then people now can develop thousands of synthetic dyes. But initially, the synthetic dyes was synthesized to only replace the leading natural dyes at that time. Say like for getting the red color, it is obtained from something that has alizarin in it. Or maybe for blue color, we know a plant that can produce a blue color like indigo. So it is very popular and also leading natural dyes that has been used since the ancient time. How can we get this kind of colors? Later I will let you know. But since the middle of 19th century, the synthetic dyes and pigments are synthesized in a plenty of amount and being used by almost all textile dyeing industry around the world. And the dyes also classified in the color index system. So if we try to recognize type of dyes, we can have a look from color index systems. So we usually know the dyes by the color index name or CI name. sometimes maybe it depends on how it is classified. So, for example, here uh, we have for textile dyes, for synthetic textile dyes, um, classification of dyes based on the chemical constitutions, and also this is the classification of dyes based on how it is applied. So by the way it is applied, we have some groups of textile dyes, say like acid dyes, it has anionic properties in the dyes. Basic dyes, it has positively charged component in the dyes. Direct dyes disperse more than pigment, reactive solvent, and fat. It is all dyes are recognized in the textile industry for giving textile coloration, either by dyeing or printing process. So the textile coloration, am I too fast?
No, doctor.
No, no.
No, I think.
You can
Okay.
go through, yeah, Dr. Ida. Yeah, it's
All
easy.
right. Okay, then I can continue. So now, after giving you some introduction to the concept of dyes and pigments, now I would like to tell you a brief introduction about textile coloration. But as I mentioned before, textile coloration can be done through different ways. First, what we call dyeing process, and the second is a printing process. For printing process, what's the difference with dyeing? Well, I would like, but I'll tell you what's the difference. The dyeing is a process of coloring textile materials. The materials can be in the various form. It can be in the fiber, yarn, or fabric. So fabric is made from yarn. Yarn is made from fiber. Textile coloration can be done in any form of the materials. It can be in the form of fiber, yarn, or fabric. And then uh, there are some requirements for the results of textile dyeing. The most important thing first, it is that the results of dyeing process, it should be permanently attached in the materials. What is the meaning of permanent? Permanent means that it has a good fastness to washing, to rubbing, to light, etc., or to perspiration or sweat and something like it. Why it should be permanent? Because textiles are mostly used in a daily life of humans, say for clothes. But even when you use the textile material for craft or upholstery or for decoration, it also still requires good fastness. Say if you use the textile for curtain, it should require good fastness to light because it is exposed by light mostly. Or if you use it for bed sheet, so it should be uh, having a good fastness to say rubbing, maybe let's say like for curtain, we don't wash it every day. So with medium fastness to washing should be fine, but it should be it should be good fastness to light because it is exposed by light. So the requirements for the permanence depends on how the end use of this product, what kind of product we will use with this textile material. And then the second requirements for textile dyeing is that it has a good levelness. It means the color in one place and the other place, it should be the same. If it is like this one is more deep shade, this one is lighter shade, it won't be good. Even for the other for the fashion sake, for the for the sake of fashion, now people just make the color say like degrading from here to there or different from one place to the other place, or even for denim, say if you wear jeans, sometimes when it is getting stripped, getting dull, the color is getting dull, the price is getting higher. So
Yeah.
it's let's make it different with the normal requirements of the textile dyeing process. And also in the industry, for dyeing process, dyeing results should have a suitable color. If the customer wants you to dye this fabric with deep yellowish red, so it should be deep yellowish red. You can dye it with the other red, kind of red. So with these requirements for printing process, the result should be different. In textile dyeing, the whole surface, the whole material should be covered by the same color with those requirements that I mentioned before. But for printing, we only apply a motif, a colored motif in some areas, and it can be different in one surface. Here is the flower, and then the other place is leaf or something else. So it should be fine. And also for printing, we only color on the upper surface of the material. Uh, the result should be like it, even though in the other, with the other technique, we can also have the motif which is included or going through to the fiber like dyeing process. Well, here is how the fiber and dyes should interact to have the permanent results of coloration. The strongest one, it should be chemical bonds, what we call covalent or ionic bonds. The covalent bonds give the strongest interaction. So the dyes which can make a covalent bond with materials can have fastness to washing, rubbing, and light very well. So it can have a very good any kind of fastness. The example is cellulose. Cellulose, you know, you have got the fiber lecture last week. Cellulose, this example of cellulose, maybe you know cotton or viscose. It is based on, or bamboo fiber. It has cellulose chemistry. So cellulose with reactive dyes, with a kind of, we call reactive dyes, can make a covalent bond with cellulose. Or the other example, say wool, you know, wool or silk, they are protein-based fibers. They can make ionic bonds with uh, ionic acid dyes, or because it has photeric properties, it can also make ionic bond with the cationic basic dyes. It is the example of how synthetic dyes can interact with fiber. But for natural dyes, this kind of strong interaction between dye and fiber cannot be obtained. So most of natural dyes only making, the strongest should be only hydrogen bond with the fiber. They can exactly form this chemical, these strong chemical bonds as what synthetic dyes can do. So that's why I bring up this discussion, because we will have a look later with a discussion, can natural dyes really replace the synthetic dyes that we have been been using for a long time in bigger industries. Okay, before get into the discussion about natural dyes, here is the basic principle of the dyeing process. In the dyeing process, it should involve the we call this dyeing bath, because it's only bath, it's not a machine. But we can, in the big industries, we use a machine or reactor for having the process. There should be water as a medium. Although now we know people try to start thinking about how can we replace water for the dyeing process, because water consumption in the dyeing industry is very plenty. It's really water consume, highly water consume. And then water, and then require dye stuff. It can be synthetic or natural dyes. And then also the substrate or materials that we want to dye here, we want to color. And also in the dyeing process, we have to add some auxiliaries, what we call auxiliaries. Auxiliaries is added substance to help increase the absorption or diffusion of dyes into the fiber, or to make the level absorption of the dyes into the fiber. And for different purposes we add auxiliaries. It depends on what the type of dyes we use and what the type of fibers we use here. And also after dyeing process, all the dye process, when we finish it, we should wash it until we got clean or clear water. Then what it is, what we call and then we also use soap to wash the dyeing results. Well, now uh, after giving you a glance um, discussion about the dyes in general, we will get into the next discussion about the natural dyes. So what is natural dyes? Uh, I believe you all already know that natural dyes is a dyes or pigments that uh, can be obtained from natural sources. So it is mostly extracted from nature's. It can be plants or animals. So since, as I mentioned, that since the ancient time, coloration use natural dyes to color. Say here, you can see the upholstery, which is found from the museum in England. It is the medieval Portuguese lumina from 12th to 13th century. At that time, we haven't people haven't developed any synthetic dyes. So these colors were obtained from nature. It can be inorganic or natural dyes. Inorganic pigments, sometimes we can find from metals in the rocks, or something that we can get from insects or parasitic insects or mollusca, or from plants. From plants, we can obtain color from the leaves, flowers, and also some branch or roots of the plants. So from any kind of parts of the plants, we can extract some colors. And also, as you can see here from the Islamic Art Museum in Egypt, there is decoration, wall decoration, having the also natural dyes. We found it as the textile Ottoman heritage in the art museum in Egypt. Um, Whatever that exhibit a color, when it is applied in the fiber, we can call it dyes. But sometimes we have to differentiate between pigment and dyes, because say like if you extract color from a leaf, the fresh leaf itself is colored green. But when we extract it and then apply to textile material or to fabric, it can be seen as the other color. It's not green in color. So that's why we are trying to differentiate between pigment and dyes. Dyes is the substance that can have interaction with fiber, but pigment, it can't make it, because so say like chlorophyll from a leaf, it is we can it is appeared green, but if we extract the leaf and try to apply it into a fabric, then we will sometimes find it brown or yellow in color. So that's what I say. We have to differentiate between the dyes and the pigment, because the behavior into material are different. Okay. Uh, from the historic point of view, we already know that the colors, some from the British Museum in 2000, we can read something like it. The colors used on textiles and artifacts, their social significance and the scope of their trade are part of a people overall history. So why I took this quote, because I would like to mention that the natural dyes is actually uh, should be developed based on the local wisdom, the resources of specific areas in everywhere in the world. So every country, every region should have their own unique resources for natural dyes, and this should be reflected by the heritage that we can find in from the ancient times. Say like in Egypt, people normally use red color that are extracted from what we parasitic insect that we call Kermes vermilio. It is the pig figure of the insect. I actually don't know very much about this insect, because it is found in Europe and also in some Middle East areas. Or also in the other part of this world, we can find red color, natural red color from the root of plant what we call rubiaceae. Rubiaceae. This is the figure of the flower of the plant that provide this red ancient color. But mostly from this source of dyes, the one that we need for having the red color is what we call alizarin. It is 1.2 dihydroxyanthraquinone. Now we have this kind of dye synthetically made in commercial dyes. So you can make it, but in the previous time we use this, we get this from the nature. Or maybe say for blue ancient color, uh, indigo is very popular and it is still used until now. We can find indigo being applied in many coloration. I will talk a bit more specific about indigo dyeing, because I and also with Dr. Widodo, I have a project, a research project based on the indigo development. And also we can find some ancient yellow color that are obtained from the nature. Here is the list of natural dyes in East Asia. From the book where I cited this is what are popular in Vietnam and the neighboring countries. And I believe it is also available in Indonesia, Thailand, Malaysia. most of them we know it. So if you want to try to develop this kind of natural dyes, you can find from the type of plants that is listed here, and it will provide some different colors for dyeing process. Now here, we have also to have a look and asking ourselves why it should be natural. Sometimes people talk about natural dyes uh, for the concern about having more healthy environment, to make a sustainable resources for dyeing process, or for the sake of our health. But uh, to be honest, I myself don't believe if the natural dyes can replace the use of synthetic dyes in this modern world, especially for the uh, big textile industry, in big scale textile industry. But recently, people have more uh, concern to, well, before saying that, I will tell you, before we found the we discovered the synthetic dyes, natural dyes have been used for 1,000 years before. But at some times, the exploitation of some natural resources of the plants, of the animals, also can just destroy the balance of our ecology ecosystem. So even like if we move to the use of natural dyes, it doesn't mean that it will save our earth by having this natural resources material for dyeing. Because if we exploit the nature too much, it can also just destroy our earth. So we have to give more wise consideration about how can we use the natural dyes for textile coloration. Before we talk more into there, I would like to give you some other. This is the results of survey made by some scientists in Europe about the reasons why people want to use back to natural dyes after we have been using the synthetic dyes for a long time. First, this is about the innovation. In the innovation sake, um, natural dyes give like different new product with a better range of price. Of course, something with natural dyes will make you pay more if you want to have a textile product with natural dyes. So that's why it is only mostly applied in a luxury product. And some innovation also related to the functionalities, say like with natural dyes, it also provide the other function for therapy, aromatherapy, or to antioxidant or antimicrobial microbial effect. So when we use some particular natural dyes, it can also at the same time give you antimicrobial effect and something like it. Say when from our previous research, I use black tea to color textiles, but at the same time, it is also proven that the material dyed with tea can give the antimicrobial effect at the same time. So it is the other benefit, double benefits from using the natural dyes. From economics view, people mostly want to use natural dyes because we can sell something much more expensive with natural dyes because it has another added value. But to be honest, it can also it only apply to a specific segmented market. Only people who has money to pay that want to buy that kind of expensive products. Say in Cirebon in Indonesia, I one time give some advocation to the small and medium enterprises there. They use when they for one piece of batik fabric uh, with natural dyes, which is colored with natural dyes, we have to pay up to 1.5 million rupiah. So it's quite higher, maybe 10 to 15 times than fabric batik that is colored by only synthetic dye. So it is for the um, for the business point of view, it gives you more opportunity to have the best range of price from what we call luxury product here. Um, from economics, natural dyes also can be easily applied in home industries or something like it. So it can become new source of income for people in the society, but it also should point should the specific customers group in mostly in a niche market. Um, Natural dyes also being developed because of the regulation of some countries that not allowed for some banned synthetic dyes, which is giving you a harm effect. But for this, I can tell you more later, maybe, or in the discussion. Not all synthetic dyes are dangerous. Not all synthetic dyes are carcinogen. Say, uh, the issue told us like azo dyes are carcinogen. So that's why all the products using azo dyes cannot go into European Union countries. But I can tell you that not all azo dyes are carcinogen. Some of them are even really safe for us to use. So um, the regulation should also look into the very specific things about the substance itself. And also the natural dyes can give you more fashion. The color is not as bright as synthetic dyes, but it gives you a uniqueness that it has a very modest color, and then well, pastel, the color is very light and soft color. It gives you more ideas to develop the fashion of to make, to sell, something like it. And natural dyes also are developed because some people already changed in mind about using chemicals for whatever in their life. And also for the other reasons, for the ethics reason, it is related to the sustainability, protecting environment and kind of it. And also from the research, from the survey, we found people want to use natural dyes because of personal reasons like health aspects or medicinal benefits for them. What about in Indonesia? I'm a bit more lucky because since say 10 years ago, I involved quite lots with the small industries and traditional industries in Indonesia. I gave some training, and then making some research collaborations with them in around along the archipelago, from say in some in Sumatra, mostly in Java, in Bali, and some part of Eastern Indonesia, in the east part of Indonesia. And we found that natural dyes are still used and even more developed now, mostly for small industries, because we have plenty of natural resources. And from my survey and from my experience, it is good for Indonesia to develop the natural dyes with the resources getting obtained from, say, like wild plants or so from waste. We have to consider, because natural resource for dye can be used also for the other purpose, say for food or even the substance or the material itself can be eaten. So we have to consider, don't use something that we can give more economic value for if it is better for other use, then we have to let others use it. Say like mangosteen skin. Before someone found it having a good effect for antioxidant or something for cancer, what I understand so far. Before people develop it for having this as a supplement or something, I always suggest students or even the small industries that use small dyers in the many areas to use the skin of mangosteen. But now when we can use it in more economic value, then I won't suggest it. Mangosteen can become a sensor as well as a dyes, because the color can change with the change of pH of the medium. So it can be used for a sensor or for indicator, pH indicator. But if it can be, if it can give you more value for to use it for supplement or something like it, then just go. For textile, I would suggest you to use the waste or something is something that normally goes to trash or a wild plants like it. Say a jati leaf. Jati, if you know jati, I don't know what it is in English, but we know it jati leaf. Uh, in some period, it can fall. It can fall. So the fell leaf can be used for textile coloration if it is not used for any other purposes. So this development of natural dyes can be very potential for small and medium enterprises, I believe it. And every area, say like in Indonesia, every area has their own specific resources for me. Say like in Sumatra, maybe there are plenty of durian skin that is normally going to the trash. We can use it for natural dyes. So it can be very, it can give even more or multiple benefits if we can try to explore and use any wasted materials for natural dyes for textiles. This can also become a way to develop community development or society development. In one village in Bali, say, almost all women who doesn't have any job can do this kind of coloration, and they can earn money from that kind of activity. So we can use this because because the process is not complicated. It's very simple, and anyone can do this everywhere. And the wastewater is also safe for the environment. But again, we can think that these natural dyes should really replace the synthetic dyes that have been used in the big textile industries. It's nearly impossible for me. The last part of this presentation, maybe I would like to give some special applications of natural dyes in textile coloration. Most of them have been reviewed in the video before this presentation, but I will tell you a bit quick about this. We can have more in discussion later. The first uniqueness of natural dyes in textile coloration in Indonesia is when it is applied into batik. So batik is a special technique of coloration. It is really Indonesian technique of coloration. The method is uh, to resist the coloration by giving the wax on the fabric. So when we give this wax on the fabric for these motifs, and then we do the dyeing process, the covered area won't be colored. It will not exhibit color. Wait a bit. Yeah, yeah. Sorry. The campus is already in a lockdown. I'm at home and so. Okay. With this batik technique, the covered area won't be colored because it is resisted by the wax. It is very normally being dyed by typical synthetic dyes, mostly say what we call naphthol, reactive, fat dyes, and it can be processed in a cold temperature of dyeing. With this, um, the wax is very safe. There, it won't be leaking because the temperature of the dyeing is cold. But when we use natural dyes, most of them should be applied in a very high temperature, say until the boiling temperature, the boil temperature. So we should, when we want to use natural dyes for batik, we should select some special wax that can afford the high temperature. Otherwise, when in the dyeing process, it will be leaked. There will be leaking and the color will interfere into the covered area, into the motif area. So that's specific things that we have to take into concern for giving natural dyes in batik. Next, we also have in the video we can also see, if you still remember, someone show the fashion with natural dyes and have a good fastness. It should be, to be honest, I should say, it should be treated with something special treatment, with a special treatment. Say like you should give a fixing after treatment to make it having a good fastness. But because the most drawback of the natural dyes is it has medium to low fastness of washing. As I mentioned before, because most of natural dyes can only make um, physical interaction with fabric, with textile fabric. That's why we need a specific detergent or a specific way of washing when we have the product with natural dyes. And also to get really from this drawback, we also usually use mordant. Mordant is someone that we can use to fix or to bind the dyes to give a stronger binding between dyes and the fabric. Mordant can be applied before, during, or after the process. It is what we usually call pre-modern and post-modern, something like it. But most of modern use in the dyeing of natural dyes are still synthetic. It is synthetic salts or synthetic metals that we use for modern. We have to be also really careful when we call this, when someone sell the product, it is natural, it is dyed with natural dyes. But during the process, we must use a synthetic modern. If we care about the environment, so we have to rethink about using that kind of product, or we have to rethink about name it a natural product, because during the process we still use some synthetic substance. Some research also taking concern on that. So we can find from also in our research group, we also try to develop natural modern. Natural modern will give you more ideas about having almost complete natural product in textile coloration. Uh, as I mentioned, most of the dyes based on the chemical that can make chemical reaction. And also it is the case with indigo dyes. Indigo dyes also cannot make chemical interaction with fiber, but it will have good fastness to washing when we apply to cotton. Why it is? Here a little bit explanation about indigo dyeing. Indigo dyeing, to me, it feels a bit more spatial because it provides very strong color, deep color. It is one of our results from our research. Um, this year we do a project on indigo research by using different resource of plant. Indigo normally can be obtained from what we call Indigofera tinctoria. It is the species of the mostly used indigo, but we tried to explore the indigo dyes from the different plants, what we call Strobilanthes cusia. It has more advantages than Indigofera. So we mentioned that it is very commercially potential to develop. It has a stronger blue shade and also independent of sunlight. The plantation can be done in any place where light can be uh, exposed whole time. So we can do this almost anywhere, but mostly better in the higher landscape. And also we can do the intercropping plantation here with Strobilanthes. Why it can make a good washing fastness? Because the dye can diffuse into cotton fabric very well by this stage of process. The insoluble indigo pigment is reduced to make it a bit soluble, and then we put alkali here to make it completely soluble. When it is soluble, the color is disappeared. It won't be having the same color as here, but it is water soluble. So when it is water soluble, we do the dyeing process. We make it get into the fabric, but then when it is already into the fabric, it already diffused into the fabric, we do the oxidation process so it can get back into its original form of the insoluble indigo pigment. So it is insoluble, but it's already diffused into the fabric. So that's why it can have a good fastness to washing. We mostly use indigo dyeing for denim or also for batik here in Indonesia. The other technique is natural tie dye with natural dyes. Um, the method is just like batik. We try to resist the dye to get into the fabric by making some tight part of the fabric. The tight part won't be dyed, won't be colored. It is the tie dye. It is quite popular even for the young generations. They like to have this kind of t-shirt with tie dye, and you can do this at home if you want to make this kind of motif. And the other one is maybe you have already known about eco printing. Eco print is the motif that can be produced on the fabric directly extracted from the fresh leaf. So you just put the fresh leaf on the fabric and then do some development by steaming or something others. It can be also applied. You can put salt to help more diffusion, and also you can put some mordant to give a stronger color here. It is even more environmentally friendly and easier to do. Everyone can have it, but not every leaves or flowers can be used for eco print.
So boleh tak each of you guys setiap kumpulan pilih satu ayat kecuali English.
Okay, and the last one, it is also some unique products from Indonesia. We have some traditional woven fabric, as you maybe have already known from the last week lecture, and many of them are also dyed with natural dyes, but the one which is dyed is the yarn. It's not the fabric. So that's why we can have this kind of pattern of the fabric. Say like songket from Palembang or ulos from Medan. The way we make it is coloring the yarn and then make a pattern, a woven construction. So we make the pattern by weaving process. The weaving also using the hand loom. It is non-machinery weaving machine. It is very traditional. We have unique and different types of traditional woven fabric and motif along the archipelago from Aceh to Irian Jaya to Papua. Sorry, I think we have every area have the specific structure of weaving from the traditional fabric. I think that's all that I can give to you from this lecture. I would be more than happy to have more discussion with you if we still have more times. Then I will give back to the moderator.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ida Nuramdani. Yeah, we have learned lots of things about natural dyes in textile. Yeah, since the very beginning, we learned to differentiate between dyes and pigment. What are the differences? And also we learn about the process of how treating the textile with natural dyes, as well as the indigo as a special natural dyes that you've mentioned in a special session. And also the eco printing, yeah, the video that previously played in the very beginning of the session also show the process of eco printing, and Dr. Ida also mentioned about it and yeah, give a bit clearer explanation about eco printing. And also tie-dye, very simple, in a very simple way, but well, actually, I love tie-dye, but I'm not sure whether how to make this yeah, the specific technique to make the specific motif. Yeah, sometimes it's easy to see it, and but yeah, the results also, yeah, the results also different. And also tie-dye with natural dye, yeah, and as I mentioned before, and traditional woven fabric as the last part. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the participants, do you have any question? If you have any question, you can put in the chat box, or you can also raise your hand and ask directly to our beloved speaker here.
Okay.
Yeah. Uh, Ida, can I have a question before the participant?
Okay.
Bu Amil?
There are some of question from participant.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Okay.
that. All right.
Okay,
Can I have a look?
I can read
Yes.
the question
Yes,
for
yes.
Dr. Ida.
Yeah, Ibu Amel. Yes,
Okay.
please, Bu Amel.
Okay, Dr. Ida, thank you for your explanation about natural dyes. I'm sorry, Bu Ichi. I want to say to Dr. Ida, I am very interesting about your research because before I also research about natural product, but I for the medicinal purposes. So we have some same concern, but different purpose.
Application. Yeah.
Okay. About the mangosteen and others flavonoid and flavon and other compound. It's interesting. Okay, so this is there are some questions. The first, is there any color that cannot be produced by using natural dyes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I directly answer?
Yes, please,
Yeah,
Dr. Ida.
please.
Yes, of course. There are many colors that can be produced by natural resources. Say a special color or like turquoise blue. You can't have it from natural. Or very fancy purple dyes or pinky violet, we can't have it from natural dyes. So natural dyes can be used for any specific colors, although it has a series of plenty colors, but it can cover all colors that can be provided by synthetic dyes.
Okay. So it's like modified the structure of from natural dyes, right, Dr. Ida?
Sorry, if we?
Like modified the structural compound from natural dyes, like maybe alizarin, and you synthesize for the other compound, like that.
Yeah, if you want to make the if you want to mimic the same color what we obtain from natural dyes, we can do that by synthesizing or modifying some. But if we have, say, like the extract of alizarin from natural resources, if we do the modification, then we involve the chemical synthesis there. We also involve more harsh chemicals, so it won't be natural anymore. I think.
Okay. Okay, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. So if we modify, it's not natural again.
Okay.
Yeah.
We can't state it as a natural product. Okay, that's the point. Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, as you mentioned earlier, if we use mordant in the process, and the mordant is a synthetic uh, components, so we also cannot mention that, or we cannot state it that the product is a natural product. Yeah, because it involves synthetic mordant in the process.
Yeah, it is actually debatable because some modern can be really safe when it is attached in the fabric. Say if the modern is just, say, like calcium or calcium in a lime, or say from aluminum that we can get from what we call this tawas. I don't remember what it is in English. Yeah, something like it. Uh, it is quite actually safe for our body when it is attached in the fabric, and also it is quite safe when we discharge into environment. But it is still synthetic for me. But the point is, um, it is still debatable for people who claim it is really really natural, while in the process we still need some synthetic or synthetic materials. It is what I would like to say. I didn't mention that it is not good to use a modern as long as it is safe. Otherwise, except that if we use, say, like chromium metal for the modern, it is quite dangerous for us. But as long as you only use only a salt, or sodium salt, or only calcium salt, something like it, it's still safe for us to use. Then it is it has no problem for me. It can help us to improve the color, but never claim it as completely natural, because you still involve some chemical substances or synthetic chemical to during the process, something like it. Yeah.
All right. Okay, Dr. Ida. Thank you very much. Now I have three questions which directly sent to my chat box. How does a dyeing machine work?
How does the dyeing machine work? Which
Yeah, how
dyeing
does a
machine?
dyeing machine work?
There are many types of dyeing machine. For dyeing, you can do that in an X-house method. X-house is using a bath. And then there is also a continue method. With continue, it allows you to have a very long process. It is in the big industries. But for the dyeing bath, the simple dyeing bath, everything can be dyeing machine as long as you can have something you can contain water with another stuffs, and also you can do some stirring. It can be dyeing machine. So there is a simple dyeing machine. Even for X house in the company, some process requires high temperature, some only low temperature. So as long as you can set the condition in the required temperature, and you can do stirring, you can contain all the materials, fabric, and then dye stuff, water, something like it. It can become a dyeing machine. Even for natural dyes, it's really easy. So it can be done in only a bath, something like it.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Ida. Before we go to another question, we already have Ibu Fitri here. Good afternoon, Dr. Fitri. Thanks. Yeah, it's honored to you for us. It's honored for us that you will be able to join us today. Okay.
Yeah, very good afternoon. Yeah. Thank you, Bu Ida, for kindly fulfill our invitation. Yeah, for great sharing today. Thank you so much.
All right. Yeah. Now this is the next question for Nurlaili. I'm allergic person. Yeah, Dr. Ida. She said that she is allergic person. Sometimes I also allergic with some clothes. Is it because I allergic with the chemical dye or with the fabric? Is a
Um,
chemical dye or synthesis dye can be
yeah,
a source of allergic?
yeah, it can be. First, maybe you have an allergic. The most allergic person, maybe they can bear the protein based fabric. It is quite allergical. Say like wool or silk, it can make you allergic for someone who has a very sensitive skin. For others, for other materials, it can be also allergical, but not really. But mostly, maybe if you wear a cloth, it means that it has passed a very long process, not only coloration, not only dyeing, but then there is some finishing process. Say like cotton, to make it have a good anti-wrinkle, so we will put some chemicals on the top of the fabric, so it is possible that you are allergic. Although in all process for fabric, we require to wash off everything until clean, until only the substance that bind it and into the fabric. When say when dyes, synthetic dyes, having the chemical bonding with the fabric, it is safe all for us. Um, Except that when the washing is not really good, the washing is not really complete, it can make you allergical. But when the washing process is good, it could be safe for you. But again, there are some different characteristics of dyeing results. Say, for cotton, if you dye it with reactive dyes, it is really safe. But for polyester, say, we use many polyesters. Polyester is the first largest use of synthetic polymers for clothes. Um, if we use polyester, or say three acetic polymer for legging or stretch materials for women especially, if we use it with, if you color this with dispersed dyes with a small molecular size, it can be really irritating for you, especially when it reacts with our sweat. So you have to be really careful when you select a material with dyes that can dissolve into our sweat, something like it. So to know how allergic you are and how what makes you allergical, we have to really analyze the material, the types of material, the fabric itself, and then what kind of process has been passed, has been to make this kind of finished product, something like it. So I can say really clearly that all materials can make you allergical or not making you allergical, because it's really specific. It can be generalized.
All right. Yeah. Hopefully it can answer your question. Yeah, Laili. Okay. Is there any other question from the participant?
Yeah, there is
Okay.
one
Yeah, Ibu
question
Amel.
for Dr. Ida. Okay, you mentioned before about the natural dyes from rocks. Okay,
Yes.
and this is what about non-organic dyes like from mineral? How are they
Yes.
different with organism-based dyes, and which one is better from organic,
Well,
sorry, mineral? Okay.
okay. The one that we can obtain from rock or from the rivers, from river rocks, we can have some inorganic pigment there. Say from iron, we can it can provide very good red colors. Iron contained mineral, something like it. But for me, the availability is very low for inorganic colors. um, if we want to exploit it from nature, but if we synthesize, we can make it easily. But most of inorganic colors comes from transition metals, which is not really good for me. The most exploited dyes are organic dyes. Even from natural dyes, they are organic dyes. The synthetic dyes that are available commercially, they are also organic dyes. Inorganic dyes are rarely used in textile coloration.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Ida.
Yeah. All right. Now
Right.
I have one question from Nin Lee. I just wonder, he or she said, after dyeing, how do you treat the dyed water?
Okay.
Yeah, the rest of the water. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, in some in most dyeing process, the rest of the medium should be nearly clean. It is the best dyeing process. But for some specific color, we can't have it. Say with reactive dyes, we can't have the clean, so we need to do some wastewater treatment. It can be through physical treatment, say like coagulation, flocculation, or adsorption, and then chemical treatment for splitting some colors, which can be mineralized at the end, to be safe to discharge, and also some having biological process. It is the normal and ideal process, but not all industry really willing to do that. So sometimes maybe you can find in some rivers can have different colors each day, something like it. But for natural dyes, say with indigo, you can reuse the dyeing rinse to make another dyeing process. You can just top up the color and then reuse all the dyeing batch. So for natural dyes, it is quite different because you can reuse that. Because with natural dyes, it rarely requires a specific color. With dyes, with natural dyes, we can't have any reproducible color in a very exact repeatability. So we can just reuse all the dyes, all the dye medium. But even when you discharge it into the environment, it is quite safe. Just like after you have vegetable, and then you make a soup, and then you have vegetable in it, and then you just discharge it into the environment. It's just safe for natural dyes. But for synthetic dyes, for sure you have to really process it until it is safe for the environment.
Yeah, or it also maybe that's also the reason why if we put some mordant, then we cannot say it as a natural process as well. Yeah, because we add
Yes.
additional chemicals into the process.
Yes, and it will be discharged into the environment. So that's
Yes,
why
yes.
as long as it is only a salt, it could be safe. But too much salt is also destroying the soil fertility, something like it.
Mhm, mhm, mhm. All right, yeah, Dr. Ida. Is there any other question from participants?
Yeah, Dr. Uci.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, is there any special requirements of textile type that can be applicable for natural dyeing process, or all of textile type can use natural dyeing? How
Yeah,
about it?
very good question. Yeah, it is very good question. I forgot to mention this, but nice it is being asked here. Well, as I mentioned, almost all, not almost all, but I believe all natural dyes cannot make a chemical bonding with the fiber, the textile fiber. Um, it can only make physical bonding with fabric. And because the medium that we use for the dyeing process is water, so the fabric that is dyed by natural dyes should be something which is hydrophilic, something that likes to get in touch with water. Say all natural fabric, cellulose based like cotton, viscose, or even bamboo fiber, or protein based fiber like wool, silk, they all can be dyed by natural dyes. But protein based has a much more uh, much better applicability with natural dyes than cotton. But most of home industries making this kind of dyeing process, they mostly use cotton because cotton is cheaper than silk. If we wear silk is much better, but it is much more expensive. Silk and wool much more expensive than cotton. But almost all cotton has hydroxyl group. The most important functional chemistry of cellulose is hydroxyl. And also, all natural dyes is developed from polyphenol or flavonoid or something like it. It is also hydroxyl based. Hydroxyl meet with hydroxyl, it can be happy each other. It is giving repulsion each other. So that's why we need mordant, or we need something to decrease the electronegativity of the hydroxyl group of the cellulose. That's why we mostly use salt, sodium salt, or the other mordant to make a binding agent between the dyes and the cotton. But for protein-based fiber, say like silk and wool, they have positively charged and negatively charged in the polymer of the fiber. So it has like amide, which is giving the electron deficient nitrogen, so it is positively charged, and also it can give the property of negatively charged from carboxylate. So it has two different functional group. That's why it is good to be dyed with natural fabric, natural dyes, because the hydroxyl, the electronegativity coming from the natural dyes can make a very good interaction with the amide part of the protein-based fiber. And for synthetic fiber, I guess polyamide or nylon, it can be dyed very well with natural dyes, almost all natural dyes, even without mordant, because polyamide has similar properties with protein-based fiber. But for polyester and the other polymers, I don't think it can be good with natural dyes. not only because it doesn't have good functionalities to make a reaction, it is also hydrophobic. So it can be good to have the dyeing process with natural dyes.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Ida. Is it so chemistry? Like Dr.
Yes, yes, it is
Yeah,
so
It is
chemistry.
so
So
yeah,
chemistry.
sorry.
yeah. All right,
The
yeah.
one, the one, the one who asked can understand
Yes,
from my
yes.
answer. Yeah.
Almost majority of our participants have a chemistry background,
Chemistry.
so I think
Okay.
they can know very well. Maybe this is the new knowledge that about electronic bonding or hydrophilic, hydrophobic, right?
All right, yeah. Bu Amel, can I have one question to Dr.
Yes,
Ida?
yes.
Yeah, since we still have here uh,
I
Okay.
Dr. Ida here, yeah. Well, as you mentioned earlier, that the fabric which has which has go through the natural dye process, yeah, and the price is a bit expensive. It's quite expensive for the fabric, but now we often found that the fabric, the cotton or batik especially, with the color is quite soft, yeah. It looks like it is dyed with a natural dye, but I'm not sure whether it is a natural dyed as it's supposed to be. So my question is there any possibility to modify the synthetic dyes to exhibit a natural dyes look so that we can produce a kind of batik, for example, with with the look of natural dyes, but actually it is made from synthetic process.
Yes, we can. So we can do lots of things with synthetic dyes. So it's
Ah,
easy how to make it duller than usual, or even like with denim, you can make it
yeah.
duller. So that's easy to do. So we can
Okay.
mimicking, we can imitate the look of
Ah,
natural
natural
dyes with
dye.
synthetic dyes.
Ah.
Otherwise, we can imitate all synthetic dyes with natural dyes. The look of synthetic dyes, we can really replace everything.
Oh, okay. So we cannot just justify that this is natural dye just from its look, yeah. Especially for us
Yes.
as dummies in natural dyes. So is there any is there any way for us to differentiate that this fabric is has go through the natural dyes process, or yeah, is there any tips from you, or yeah,
Yeah.
as an
For
expert in it?
experienced eyes, we can find out. Mostly, we can
Oh,
find out.
okay.
Even like indigo dyes, we can really differentiate which one comes from natural indigo and which one from synthetic indigo. But for
Ah,
unexperienced eyes, we can really differentiate it. 5 years ago, I became an expert in NGO. It is called Warlami. Maybe you have heard about it. Um, we have that kind of concern. Customer want to have all natural products, but how
mm,
can we make sure that it is really
mm,
natural product? The
mm,
only way is certification and the trust of customer to the producer. It can be really we can have we can really have this kind of method to analyze only by the unexperienced eyes to have a look if it is natural or not. But
oh,
from my recent research, I try to give an idea about traceability of the natural product by QR code. So we
mm,
are trying to make something really natural coming from the very beginning, and then we make QR code. When we scan it, we can find the specification and whole process of the coloration. But again, if we tell you a lie, then it can be a lie all the time. So we don't have that kind of method for analysis, except we have the best practice and also the certification of is say like halal certification. We never know except that we have the label, something like it, as long as I can understand. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So yeah, Bu Fikri, if we go to Cirebon, don't judge the batik its look.
From the color, yeah. Don't judge the
From
book from the
not
cover.
only from the color, yeah, because
Yes.
Yes,
but
yes.
also from the price, I think. No.
Mhm.
Yes, from the price. Say if you go to Batik Trusmi, I can guarantee if you can find natural coloration in there. But if you come
Okay.
to say like Ciwaringin, there is an area in Cirebon, Ciwaringin. I know almost everyone there. I give a trainings quite many times. They have almost everything naturally.
Okay.
Mm. Noted, Bu
Even
Titi.
Ciwaringin
correct.
ya.
Yeah, we have to
Yes.
visit there.
Yeah, but for one piece of batik, maybe you have to pay 1.5 million, something around it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So challenging. Yeah.
Yes, it
Mhm.
is.
Right. Yeah, because when I came to Batik Trusmi, there's a kind of like a batik which has a very not very strong color, not very bright. It's quite soft. The color is quite soft, and it's also get easily to like oxidize or getting faded in color. The
Mm.
yeah, the color get faded, like getting more dull, as what you said. Uh, so I think this is a natural product or natural dye
No,
like that. So, but we can't
no,
say
not
in that way, yeah.
no. Yeah. Because say like batik, if it is colored with direct dyes, the color is not bright. It is easily faded with washing and also
Mhm.
with light. So we can say it, exactly that it is natural dyes for
Yeah.
only the way it looks.
All right. Yeah.
Very,
Very much for this new
very
yeah for
interesting.
this
Yeah.
new knowledge, yeah, for
Yeah.
us as a
Yeah,
customer
yeah.
of batik too, basically the batik lovers. All right.
I
Yeah.
guess if Buida
What
can
is
establish the innovation on tracking the natural dyes and the synthetic ones, and then it goes to
yeah.
the application, maybe I the first customer, yeah, who will install on my how to say
Yeah.
Okay.
mobile phone. It will be
I
great,
will
Just scan the
send
Buida.
QR code,
you.
Very,
yeah.
yeah,
Uh-uh.
very great intention, I guess. Since everyone rely on to the mobile phone, so yeah, especially for ibu-ibu who really love
Yes.
to shopping.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's I guess the great idea for us to be how to say protected from the fake product, yeah. Especially if we
Yeah.
love to choose the natural ones rather
Yeah.
than
Support the
Yeah, yeah,
customer to
yeah.
be a smart buyer, yeah.
yeah, yeah. Let us know,
Yes,
Buida,
yes.
one time that innovation release, yeah. It would be great.
Sure, it will be in the near time because
Okay.
it is my year project. Also, Dr. Widodo is one of the member of the team for the
Mhm,
project that I mentioned to you. We are developing the new species of indigo, natural indigo dyes, and
mhm.
then we try to educate the customer about the natural, the originality of the natural products by
Mhm.
doing that
Yeah,
way. Yeah.
that's very wonderful, very smart innovation. Even
Thank
I'm
you.
thinking, Butuzi, maybe in the next semester, Bu Ida, just for your information, also I've been informed, if I'm not mistaken, to Pak Widodo. Actually, in our study program, we have the special lecture. We call it uh, Process Industri Kimia. So sometimes we are very, how to say, scarcity in having the speaker with really rely on the application, yeah, due to the chemical
Yeah,
processes. So this
sure.
just so right, itu, talking about dying, but inside totally chemistry. So next time maybe I do hope we still can have a great opportunity to engage in other occasion, especially for other lecture. Yeah.
Sure, I would love
Very
to.
glad for us to have you here, Bu Ida. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I would love
okay.
to.
All right, yeah, another participants. Do you still have any question? My last invitation for the question. All right. So if we don't have any question, we can go to the next session, Ibu Amel.
Yes, Doctor. It will be Kahoot.
Oh yeah, for Kahoot,
From
yeah.
Bumita, right? I'm sorry, Dr. Ida. Could, if you don't mind, could you stop share?
Oh yeah, maybe.
Oh yeah,
Because
Dr. Ida, we're going to share our screen for the Kahoot.
Oh, sorry, I have to stop
session.
sharing. Sorry.
This is just a kind of brief assignment, Bu Ida, for how to say
For the participants.
for participants, to know
Okay,
how
okay.
much the participant can receive the information and knowledge from your lecture.
Okay. Is it already? Oh, sorry. What should I do? You can just
Just
do.
you stop the share screen
at the
in
top
the
of
top
your
part, I
screen,
guess.
At the top
Sorry.
of the screen, there's a green button that you can
Yes.
push.
Just click.
Stop share.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I can't find it.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, sometimes it goes upper, and we couldn't realize.
the participant, you can join the Kahoot quiz from kahoot.it and this game pin 7325888 and 6. So this is our last Kahoot moment. So please join this session, everyone.
Yeah, 732-5886. 732-5886.
7325886.
All right, Naruto, Faiz, Leli, Aisyah Khair, Pika, Putri, Najmia Farah, Aisyah Atika, Hong An, Sarah, Sinta, Miza. So Bu Fitri, for the winner, are they going to have batik fabric?
Yeah, after the last session for tomorrow, Bu Amel actually already arranged the special schedule for preparing the token, for all winner of each quiz. And then since most how to say the winner come from abroad, so we consider to drop directly the present within one place. For example, to UPM or to other campus. So later on, maybe please kindly support us to share the token,
Like you taking a picture of the token and then share
yes.
a picture of you with the token.
Yes.
If such case, maybe for this session I can like donate one of my batik.
Oh, thank you so much, Bu Susi. Very welcome. Even you can donate more in your cupboard. Okay, I guess you can start, Bu Amel, for the quiz. Or who's Bu Tusika? Yeah.
All right, so how many people are there? Like 19 people?
Yeah, usually half of the total participants.
Yeah, maybe we can wait for one more. Yeah, 20. Is it okay?
Yes.
20, yeah, we start now. Oh, no, not yet.
Countdown, Doctor.
One person get removed.
So
okay,
today,
one more participant.
Some participants just notice us that they have how to say special.
They have class, yeah.
Yes, and sometimes
they have
assignment, so they have no choice. Actually, they wanted to join, but unfortunately, we always recorded the meeting, and then later on, the participant can follow, through our YouTube channel.
Participants from Indonesia have their assignment week, and participants from Malaysia, they already has lectures week, we started this mid of October. So I think we can start now because it seems like nobody will will join us again.
Yes.
All right. All right, chemical functional groups that can cause a chemical. Produce color is chromosome, chromophore, chromatograph, or chromac. So yeah, 5% get correct answer. So next question. Which of the following is a source of blue dyes? Yeah, lapis lazuli, yeah, as a mineral dyes. All right. The third question, which of the following is not an auxiliary in dyeing process? It's quite tricky. The choices is quite tricky. Yeah, the leveling agent. We have defoaming and also foaming. We have leveling, but not the leveling agent. All right. Number 4. What is the color produced by henna? Orange brown, yeah?
Yeah, very unique, orange brown, but the color is blue.
Well, this is the last question. The interaction between fiber and dyes could be happen due to
Very short repetition, exam.
Is there any remedial?
No time.
No.
Exam, so choose the wrong one.
Yeah, metallic or except.
Exam, yeah, metallic. Mhm.
Okay. Metallic bonding. Okay. Yeah, so the first winner is Farah. Farah, where are you, Farah? Hi, Farah. Congratulations. Hold on. And who's the second one? Runner up?
Huang.
Yeah, okay. Congratulations, Farah. You're the winner for today session of the quiz or Kahoot. Thank you very much, Bu Mita. Thank you very much, Bu Amel. Yeah. Okay, now this is the session for our department to to give a certificate for our speaker, our beloved speaker, Dr. Ida Nuramdani. Probably Bu Fitri would like to directly give the certificate to Dr. Ida.
Oh, very
As a
very
representative
honored
of,
to deliver this. Maybe before we officially deliver this gratitude for her excellent presentation today, I would like to invite Bu Ida to deliver your closing remark for our participants today. Please, Bu Ida.
Okay, thank you, Bu Fitri. I'm so happy and I'm so honored to have this kind of opportunity to share about very specific process of in chemistry that maybe not every of you has experienced before. It is a kind of good point of collaboration, and I would love to have more collaboration with you all here. And thank you for your kind attention, for nice questions, and also for giving me this kind of opportunity. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, Bu Ida.
Yeah, again, we extend our, sincere thanks and also gratitude for Ibu Ida Nuramdani, PhD, for your very attractive, interesting, as well as, in my opinion, many innovative idea that been shared in this lecture. Thank you so much, Bu Ida, for this great time for us to have your lecture. hopefully, as you wish, we can meet again in the better time, better conditions. And on behalf of the chemistry department, as well as the Dean Faculty of Mathematics and Science Education, here we would like to deliver the certificate virtually, but later on it would be right on your email and as well as to your office. Yeah. Thank you very much, Wida. It's very wonderful. Again, we are really looking forward, yeah, for future collaborations with us. Stay healthy, Wida. Terima kasih banyak.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Since
You too.
okay, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, since we still have Bu Ida here, why don't we have a photo session in our
Yeah,
part?
that's a great
So,
idea.
yeah, so we can open your
Selamat siang Pak
yeah.
Widodo.
Selamat siang Pak
I think
Widodo.
all audience
Yeah.
remember with Pak Widodo.
Selamat siang Bu Fitri,
Yeah.
Bu Sufi.
Many participants miss you, Pak Widodo.
Oh, thank
The
you.
very eccentric speaker, yeah, that Apple have. Very curious. Even everyone still asking for the photos that we've been taken. Yeah, looking forward to your photo. Okay, Bu Tuzi, maybe you can guide us for the photo session.
All right, yeah. Get ready, everyone. Hang on. All right. 1, 2, 3. Let me do it one more time. Wait for a second. It's a bit long time to. Oh, what happened with my connection? Okay, yeah. All right, now we can do it one more time. 1, 2, 3. Hafiz, are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Oh, Bumita now. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, thank you very much. Oh, thank you very much. Now I have to
Can I please have the photo, Bu Tuzi? Yeah.
Oh,
yes, please.
yeah.
We will send you the picture. I just sent
Okay.
to Fitri and then she will
forward
it to you. All right. Thank you very much, all the participants, all the people participants. So for tomorrow, what we're going to have, Bu Amel? Tomorrow session. Tomorrow session.
So this is the attendance list for today, Bu Tosi. So to all participants, please kindly fulfill this attendance list. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't forget to fulfill the attendance link. Yeah.
Yes. And for tomorrow, actually, we have the last session for our Pitwa Summer School program. So sad actually to come to the end of this program. Time flies so fast. We have more than 10 great speakers with us, day by day with a variety of topics and content. Yeah, actually, it's really, how to say, miss us, to have the same activity again. Hopefully, after new normal, we can again, how to say, conduct the same similar activity like this. So tomorrow, actually, the final day for us, and it would be how to say, happy for us because we will have the presentation. Presentation for all participants. Yeah, they've been working within group and prepare the final projects. Almost the project been posted in our G Drive. So tomorrow, here is the role for all participants. The way how to deliver your presentation and what the time allocation been allocated for each group. Hopefully everyone can enjoy for tomorrow last meeting, and then let's have fun. Let's have fun tomorrow.
Yeah, Bu Fitri, I think the speakers also are welcome to join the session because
Oh
the
yeah,
topics
yeah,
also
pretty
related
sure,
with the
pretty sure.
textile.
Yeah, very
Yeah, yeah.
welcome for
So,
sure. Yeah.
so Ibu Ida,
We will how to say attach the how to say invitation link for tomorrow to all how to say speaker, just in case they have the great availability, yeah, to join with us for the final project. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So, dear participants, get ready for tomorrow.
Yeah.
So
And
it's your day. Yeah, dedicated for you to to present your work. And well, actually, this program is not an easy way to conduct. Yeah, but tomorrow is the most challenging time because this is the last day. Yeah. We never expect to have a farewell, but okay. I don't want to give a sad part of the of the farewell in today's session, but okay. Thank you very much for all the attention for today's session with Dr. Ida, Ibu Ida Nuramdani PhD, yeah, from Textile University. Okay, yeah, it's a big sound. If he wants to join with us. Okay, yeah. Thank you very much. Now I think I have to close the session. Good afternoon, everyone. See you tomorrow in the next part of the He Bite Me. Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi
wabarakatuh.
wabarakatuh.